need to come up with a good thumbnail for this.
We do.
Yeah.
So supposedly, I think we should be live. It says live in the top right.
Yeah, and we are.
Yeah.
We definitely are.
Where is the correct chat, though, so I can see this? Let's see. We need to mute. Okay, there it is. Yeah, for some reason in the chat box that's on the Google Hangout does not show what's actually in the top chat on the right. But all right, I could just make them both visible. How about that?
Oh,
Yeah.
how about that?
Welcome back, everybody, to Sugoi Boyz, episode Dos
Numero dos.
2. However you want to say it. As always, even though it's episode 2, as previously in episode 1, I'm joined by Art of Anime and J-Chip from the J-Chip Show, which I'd love to refer to him as.
Previously on Yu-Gi-Oh!
Previously on Dragon Ball's Pay, Virginia was acting to Mickey, and now Gugo and Christian Stewart must fight. I hope they don't hit each other too hard. If you've seen that video, you get bonus points.
Sadly, I will not get bonus points.
Dude, you gotta watch Dragon's Ball Pay. It is great. It's like a 3-minute animated short of this guy.
I've just seen it. Yeah.
Yes, it is awesome. And he calls Krillin Kirk Christian Stewart, and it makes me laugh every time.
Christian Stewart.
Yeah, welcome back, guys. I guess we can maybe wait for some people to be coming in, but I've had a semi big week of watching things, at least for me, completing 2 things.
Gabriel here.
Gabriel, what's up, dude? I can actually see the chat this time. I can acknowledge people. What's up, man? Gabriel's got a channel too. People should check that out.
Gabe is a good boy.
You should check out everybody who's ever done a YouTube video ever. You should watch their stuff.
You might end up on some bad stuff though if you do that.
No, there's no bad things on YouTube. There's none.
You haven't gotten to the fundamentalist Christian YouTubers.
Oh well, there's also no full-length movies that you can watch on YouTube. There's never been that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I totally didn't watch Hotarubi no Mori on YouTube or anything.
I mean, I totally did not watch A Silent Voice on YouTube.
That's crazy that's on there, because that's at least like
that's
a really popular movie,
and it's also very recent. So
yeah. And the it comes up in my suggested like all the time, and so I imagine it comes up in people's.
Although none of them that I've seen are like in full 1080p, it's always in like 480. So.
Sorry, Justin. Sorry, the people pirating it onto this fucking free site can't make an HD for you.
Did you guys hear about Kiss Anime promoting their premium membership now that they've banned people from blocking ads?
I didn't know.
Funimation? Funimation's doing that?
Kiss Anime.
Oh, Kiss Anime.
We can get into that later. We can get into that later, though.
I haven't used... The last time I used Kiss Anime was with the J-Chip Show to watch something. I generally don't use it because I like to run ad block, and then they also...
Oh, yeah, that's right. We use that to watch Steins Gate, the movie.
Yes, we did.
Because Funimation doesn't have it.
Preload Region of Deja Vu, which is a mouthful of a title.
I'll just call it Steins Gate Deja Vu.
I'll just call it Preload Region. Dude, you seen Preload? You seen that Preload Region yet?
Or you can just call it the Steins Gate movie.
See, Gabriel knows what's up. He likes Adblock because Adblock is a fun time.
It is.
I have other sites that I can watch anime on. Unfortunately, one of them now no longer exists, but I'm down to one. I mean, of course, I just watch stuff on my Blu-ray shelf. What are you talking about? I've never seen anything illegal.
So Miasma, what's on the block for the Sugoi Boyz tonight?
The Sugoi Boyz are extra Sugoi today because not only did I finish one show this week, but I finished two. And I'm pretty sure Justin also finished something. But I guess we'll go around like what I don't want to. I'm a gentleman, you know. I'll let Justin go first. Justin, ladies first, man. What have you opened your eyes to the screen for?
Well, I finished Yormagun, and I really liked that. It was the ending was special.
It was special.
The ending is really special.
The ending is very special.
I don't know how I feel about the ending. I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of it happened, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah. I have a whole section of my review, which I had to say, stop watching this if you haven't seen it before, because I'm going to be talking about spoilery things.
I have to do that now.
Or I might have just put them into the blog post, but continue.
Yeah. I also started Princess Jellyfish. The entire anime is weird, and the opening is really cool because it makes a lot of pop culture references, like to James Bond and Star Wars and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Okay.
Is it about a girl that's a jellyfish?
It's about a girl that saw a bunch of jellyfish, and she wants a dress that looks like a jellyfish.
So she's just like obsessed with jellyfish?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, genre-wise, what is it?
Slice of life.
Horror.
It's like Genshiken, but a bunch of chicks, and yeah.
You are special, Gabriel. I don't want anybody to tell you different.
She's a jelly boo.
She's a jelly boo.
Yeah, she's a jelly boo.
Jelly boo.
You can't be scared to use ad block, dude. Trust, like, even big YouTubers are making like 7 cents on their videos now because YouTube's like, hey man, we're gonna make money and you're not.
Also, in Princess Jellyfish, there is a character that really does look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and I'm not exaggerating.
Shaggy, the fucking hippie that eats dog food.
Yeah, just turn her into turn Shaggy into like a girl and make her really spastic. She spazzes all the time, and she's kind of annoying, but it's whatever. Anime just has those type of characters, I guess.
Does she have some Scooby snacks?
No, but she has the same hair color, and like her hair is covering her eyes.
Does she live in a van?
So she looks emo?
I could see her living in a van.
I could see you living in a van. What kind of potential is that for someone? You know, you strike me as someone that would probably live in a van. You know, a van is somewhere you might call home.
A van down by the river.
It took me... I didn't really realize until I had watched Robot Chicken make fun of Scooby-Doo that they aren't just dog food eating. One of them is just a dog food eating hippie.
Yeah.
Like, they bribe him with dog treats, and he does what they want for said dog treats. Why does no one question that?
They're really just like tagging along.
So Yormagun. Can you explain what Yormagun is? Because only 3 people on Earth have ever watched that show.
Okay, so Yormagun is about arms dealing, and eventually shit goes down and they get into gunfights. But the story isn't really original at all, but you're mainly watching this for the characters because I feel like the characters were the best part of the show.
Yes, I would agree.
Because like it is like Black Lagoon in a sense, but I feel like Yormagun's more mature.
Yes, yeah, because like it's not as in Black Lagoon, people like fly around and shit and explode like you got Revy like jumping over exploding boats and shit, and like that's cool if this is like a Michael Bay film, but it's not. It's like it's trying to be this like dark take. It's like, oh, look how dark the world is. This is how Roanapur really is. This is how shit gets real here. And then it's like, well, Revi is superhuman and does all this crazy shit. Jormungand, you got a fucking team. She has a team of bodyguards that are all basically mercenaries.
Yeah.
And they all get back, almost all. I think there's one guy that didn't get much of a backstory, but the rest of them got at least like one episode.
Greg Aries' character didn't really get a backstory.
That's true.
But a lot of them did. And I feel like the second season touched that a little bit more than the first season. But overall, I think Jormungand's a really good show. And Coco made my favorite anime characters on Mal.
Coco is awesome.
She is awesome.
She is really cool, and she is loco, just like the song suggests.
Don't spoil too much of your favorites list on Mal, though.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep that shit secret.
So are we going everything like anime, manga, characters, and people?
No, we'll just do anime.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Colors. I'm a real big fan of Bert Sienna. You know, give it an 8.6 out of 10. So all right, so Jormungand. Anything else that you watched?
I watched Dustmane of Amnesia with Art.
I've been meaning to ask you about that. I guess I can ask both because I'm very interested in the series, but I was not there for the watch along. But it is something that I want to watch. I think. Is it? Am I correct in wanting to watch it?
Well, what do you want to watch it for?
I want to see a supernatural romantic kind kind of thing.
Okay, then yes, that's definitely.
I don't know how much action there'd be. I wish, and I said this last week. My favorite type of anime would be action romance, and you can include
very little action in it.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of figured because of the very little I know about it. But I also think that there should be more mystery stuff.
The most action you're going to get is like people falling downstairs.
Oh, well, that's all I need. Shout out to Another.
Well, it's not going to be
anywhere near Another. Girl with the umbrella. Rip Girl with the Umbrella, 2006 or whatever that came out. I'll never forget.
My favorite death in Another was actually the lightning strike.
The lightning strike is great because it's just like it happens and they're all just like, well, fuck.
my favorite scene was with the teacher and the knife.
The boat was pretty good too.
That was brutal.
I remember the teacher and the knife. I don't really remember the boat. What's with the? Oh, is that she gets like hit by it?
Yeah, he got caught under the boat and in the propeller.
Oh, okay. Another shout out to girls with eye patches.
She predates Kaneki.
Yeah, she's actually a ghoul.
Yeah.
We just ruined Another for you. Another is actually a prequel to Tokyo Ghoul. Who knew?
Another's really good. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was expensive when I bought it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you've been watching this week, Justin?
I'm watching Gungrave.
Oh man, he is just pleasing me this week. He's gonna like disappoint me soon.
He's just all over. He's just like, my life is anime this week.
I mean, my life is basically Natsumi.
And your book of
friends.
Yeah. I finished the first season. Now I got 5 more seasons.
Just 5 more. That's it.
Yep. They're all 13 episodes.
Jeez. Is it good though?
It's all right.
Okay, it's all right. If someone says it's all right and they have that many episodes still to go, that are not confident going in. Sorry, Nia, who may watch this someday.
Yeah, this is her favorite anime, and I can see why.
What are you trying to say about Nia? You trying to say she's predictable?
Yeah,
she's a big fan of the Sugoi boys. You know.
She made me watch Rania the Robber's Daughter, and that was a pain to get through.
Oh man! All right.
Okay. At least what I'm watching isn't that much of a pain.
That's a good segue. Art, what have you been watching?
I'm sure everybody will love to talk about what I'm watching. Okay. Legend of the Galactic Heroes: The New Thesis.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
the objective,
the best anime ever
of all time.
Pretty Boys in
almost
Space.
said that at the same time.
AKA Pretty Boys in Space with lasers.
That's actually not a bad definition of it.
AKA like, Germans in space.
He's like, they're not all pretty.
Like, if you don't go gay for Reinhard, you got a problem. Like, his hair, come on.
His eyes.
His eyes. That's something the new show didn't carry over. Was my favorite thing from the old one was the eye design.
It still does look good.
I think they did good with some of the characters' designs. Like, I think I really liked, if you even remember who some of them are, because there's so many characters.
The only one I really remember is Yang and Reinhardt.
I really like how they designed Anne Rose, which was Reinhardt's sister.
Yeah.
And Frederica, which was Yang's next in command as soon as Yang started the 13th Fleet. I liked how they designed those characters.
Yeah.
Most of the other ones I could kind of go without. The design of the new characters isn't bad by any means, but I like the older ones better.
So here's a question for you.
Go ahead.
What do you say that if someone was interested in the show, they'd be better off watching the OVA or the remake?
If they can't stand the art style of the old show, the new one is fine. They're gonna miss some details,
obviously,
but I feel like at the rate the TV show is going, if they continue all the way to at least the end of the OVA, even if they don't go do like the Gaiden or any of the movies, I still feel like they'll get a lot of the information that the original OVA gave them.
Okay.
Because it doesn't feel like it's skipping out on a lot of information. It just feels like maybe each episode could use maybe 3 or 4 more minutes.
I think the show would have worked a lot better if it was like 26 or instead of just like 12 or 13.
Well, I'm only 7 episodes into it right now, so I don't know where it ends, but it's definitely not going to get anywhere into the actual story. I know that this is only supposed to be the first season, though. It does feel like there's. I do believe they're going to do more.
Do the space fights look better? Have we evolved from just red lines?
The space fights basically look the same. I'm
shit! Well, a classic great animation.
Somebody just likes red lines.
Yeah. Somebody really likes Redline, the movie.
They went from red lines to like white lines with a red glow around them.
Oh, so they're stepping up their game.
If there's anything in animation that has improved in like the 30-something years, we can now use white lines instead of red lines. Thank God for the evolution of animation.
But my biggest complaint is there are CG spaceships.
Oh. I don't know how I feel about that. Shaksha says meow bitches, by the way.
I don't think anybody in Galactic Heroes ever said meow bitches.
I'm pretty sure they did.
By the way, this is a anime podcast. You're supposed to say nya.
Yeah, I don't know what this meow is.
English dubs.
I don't know what bitch is in Japanese, but yeah. Someone can look it up.
Was there anything else you're watching, Art?
I'm gonna rewatch Gunbuster and Diebuster soon. Because if you haven't heard, Darling in the Franxx episode 23, that's got some things in it that people are complaining about.
Oh.
Yeah. Aside from the seasonals I've been watching, which are Darling and Persona 5, I've heard some complaints about Darling episode 23 where it's getting worse.
Uh-oh.
But it's basically just doing the same thing other Gainax shows before it have done.
I feel like everyone's just kind of complaining about that show, like it's getting worse at episode 13 and it's just going downhill.
No, that's pretty accurate. like if you've seen any, like I shouldn't say if you've seen any Gainax shows, because most people have only seen Gurren Lagann and Ava.
Mm-hmm.
When they say, "Oh, it's copying Gainax," but if you've actually seen like a lot of Gainax shows, like I have, you can realize that Darling is actually like, it's kind of like a mishmash of every single show they've ever made, and
Mhm.
each episode kind of does something related to a different thing. Like
Yeah.
Darling episode 20 was basically End of Evangelion.
Oh boy.
Darling episode 23 is basically Die Buster. And I'm predicting that episode 24 is basically going to be Gunbuster.
I haven't seen.
Gabriel might be my new best friend. I also dislike Gurren Lagann, but I haven't finished it. So I feel...
You don't believe in the me that believes in you?
No, I don't. I don't believe in anything in that show. After
Remember,
episode 7 or 8.
Remember, the impossible is...
Okay, you gotta get past 7 and 8, and you gotta get into the second half, because Kamina is much more important after what happens.
Oh. And Gabriel started fights now. Great. I didn't like it that much. I mean, it was alright at the beginning. I also really dislike how Gainax / became Trigger animates. But it does look pretty sometimes. Little Witch Academia is alright. Best thing they've ever done.
Okay, you should watch Gunbuster and Die Buster.
It's also Anno. Did Anno direct those as well, I believe?
Anno was on Gunbuster, not...
Okay.
I think he only did storyboards on Die Buster.
Okay. Anno's a cool guy. Hiroyuki Imaishi and fucking... who's the other fuckboy? I can't remember now. I don't know. That Academia, Little Witch Academia is decent.
Before we get into your distaste of Trigger, what have you been watching?
All right. So, speaking of Trigger, I'm about to trigger people because I just watched one of the best anime of all time. I watched the best American anime in the history of time, Avatar: The Last Airbender, for the first time. And
Americans can't make anime. Some comment I got the other day on my anime versus cartoons video says, yes, cartoons are made in America and other states / countries, but anime is made in Japan.
All right. So to that guy, if I didn't get arrested for this, if I kidnapped everyone from Studio Bones and put a gun up to their head and said, you're going to make a show in San Francisco, is what they made not... I mean, I know, and it's like related to... It's like a sequel to FMA, because it's Bones. It's my fanfic, but you guys are making this shit, and apparently I've gone up to all their heads. And I'm like, well, you guys are making this in San Francisco. And then they make Full Metal Alchemist 2, The Electric Boogaloo. Is that not... So I guess to that guy, it's not... Because they're doing it on San Francisco soil, it's not anime. No, fuck it. Avatar is an anime. Fuck everyone. Fight me. For coming from another guy that lives in his parents' basement. And it's the best American anime I've ever seen. And I wish I had actually watched it along... I started book 1 when it was like airing, and then after a couple episodes, I really wasn't feeling it when I was younger, and then I stopped. And then for years, everyone's been like, oh, it's so fucking good. And then I kind of didn't believe them. And man, my expectations were blown away. There's still stuff I don't really like. Mostly like nitpicks about some of like the bending. I feel like the bending could be better in a lot of areas because you have like fights that I think should be over a lot quicker than they are. But then again, we wouldn't have an entertaining show if the fights were over so quickly, I guess. In terms of anime from Nihon, I watched Lupin the Third, Castle of Cagliostro, sort of twice.
Miyazaki.
Yeah,
it's a classic.
I watched the first 28 minutes twice because I fell asleep the first time and tweeted about it, to which Art had a great response. Because Miyazaki's movies, this is the third time I've fallen asleep Okay, statistically, miasma has fallen asleep. I'm not a person that does this all the time. To shows and or movies, maybe 6 times in my whole life. 3 of them are Miyazaki films. 50% of the times I've fallen asleep to movies and or shows, it happens to be a Miyazaki movie. Spirited Away, the second time I watched it. Castle of Cagliostro, the first time I watched it. And Castle in the Sky, the first. I guess I just don't like castles. And Castle in the Sky, the first time I watched it. Now, none of these have been
when I watched Princess Mononoke the first time.
All right, I love that movie, but I can kind of see the guy's tone is a little like when you're younger, it's like whimsical. It's like, wow, look at this cool world, and there's cool creatures, and there's cool woods. And when you're older, and you're like, the real world isn't like that. The real world's shitty. And what the fuck is this? And then you fall asleep. But none of those movies I've mentioned before, I don't think are bad. I think Howl's is like his best one. I didn't fall asleep to that one. That's probably why I think it's the best. Castle of Cagliostro was very good. I did like it. I've never seen anything that's Lupin. And I've been told that this is kind of all that you need to see unless you're really into Lupin. And it was pretty good. It was a cool, like, little, like, James Bond-y anime movie. It gets kind of annoying, though, how Lupin's, like, Mr. Perfect.
Yeah. He's like the James Bond of anime.
He is. He's James Bond in anime, and he's just, like, nothing. There's, like, no consequences to anything he does. Like, he gets trapped, he escapes. He gets handcuffed, he escapes. He gets, like, underwater, and he swims out to, like, the one tunnel, and then he escapes. Or he's, like, he gets butt-ass naked, he knocks out a guard and takes his clothes, which seemingly, I guess, just fit. And then...
Oh, you never tried that?
He always has a to-go vehicle. He always has a to-go, like a plane to escape. The cops can never get him, and he always gets the girl. So I guess that's his life. That's Lupin the Third.
You know what you should watch? You should watch Detective Conan versus Lupin the Third.
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, it is. It's a movie made for TV.
I've seen 1 episode of Conan in my life, and it prompted me when I was very young to write my own mystery short story.
Yeah,
that is somewhere in my parents'
actually have seen Bakemono Gabriel, and that was my least favorite movie by Hosoda.
I haven't seen The Boy and the Beast.
I have not seen it. I've heard not good things.
But Shaktra said Grimgar with a smiley face, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Ooh, because Raychip doesn't like that Grimgar. Which sounds like Gengar to me, who's a cool Pokemon. So
Gengar is awesome.
Didn't like it, huh?
No, I didn't like it, but she really likes it.
Man, we are splitting up. Avatar is anime. Thank you, Gabriel. It is.
Okay,
the term anime is written in katakana, meaning that they would describe any form of animation as such.
Exactly.
So if you made it anywhere and brought it over there, they would say that it was anime.
I'm surprised you didn't do the actual famous quote that anime is a Japanese colloquialism.
Anime is a Japanese colloquialism. Used to describe animation.
Art made a video about it, so go watch it.
Yeah, everyone. Go watch both of their channels, not mine.
Yeah. I haven't made a video about anime being cartoons because everyone's already made it.
Oh, I'm reviewing Avatar. And I'm going to... you heard it here first here, folks. On the horizon... I gotta put on my rooster teeth because I'm going to be reviewing RWBY, also known as Ruby, because that's not how you spell Ruby. I hate to break it to them, but RW does not. That's not that sound. I don't. You can't. They can't just say it. Say it's this. Fuck you, Ruby. That's what I refer to it as.
It's okay. I'm breaking from my normal anime and doing a Final Fantasy IX video soon. It's okay.
Hey, Final Fantasy IX is awesome.
That's Justin's favorite Final Fantasy, I'm pretty sure.
And when you see my video, you'll understand why it's my favorite Final Fantasy as well.
Final Fantasy 5 or Final Fantasy 6 and 9 are my favorites.
I've never played any Final Fantasy besides Crystal Chronicles.
You need to play 9.
You can get it on an emulator.
I could. I have not played many RPGs in my life, but I guess I would have to play what is considered good.
Gabriel Scott asks, "Am I the only one who really wants to see what Miasma looks like without a beard?"
No, I've always had a beard in this channel. I was like trying to think if like one of my first videos I didn't have one.
You wouldn't be the bearded senpai without it.
That's true. I used to have had an older channel. I don't know if I had a beard when I did that. I'd have to look it up. But it's nothing special.
You should like stylize it.
My beard?
Yeah, you should each week.
Yeah.
Just do something
put like weird shit in it. I'm gonna cut it. I'm not gonna shave it. I'm gonna cut it. Every time when you have a beard, every time you go to tell somebody that you're gonna cut it, they assume that you're gonna shave it. Like, and I use the term "cut" specifically, and then they'll be like, "Oh, so you're not gonna have a beard anymore?" No, stupid. I would say shave that. I cut it means I'm gonna trim it. Means it's gonna be shorter. You're not gonna see me without a beard for a long time. I'm sorry, Gabriel. But I don't know. I am gonna cut it like way shorter though, because it's getting too hot and there's just too much.
Yeah,
especially with this 100-degree weather.
Yeah, Crystal Chronicles is pretty amazing. I only played it with my buddies in college for a little bit on their GameCube, but it was like really cool being able to play a game like all four of us at once.
I haven't played it. Yes,
Crystal Chronicles was fun. My only problem with it was it got very repetitive.
Yeah, it was. I even noticed that. Like, I played it a couple hours, and it was just us doing like the same shit over and over again, like carrying the thing through the storm. Like, you have to carry this thing to
it's like Fortnite.
I haven't played Fortnite either.
Everyone's played Fortnite. What are you talking about?
Oh, not me. I stick to Overwatch because Overwatch is a good game.
Honestly, you're not missing much. Just stick with Overwatch.
You really aren't.
To Overwatch, this Overwatch is in a new season right now, and it is pissing me off.
A new hero.
He's not. He's on the PTR still, but yeah, he's a fucking hamster. First of all, that's annoying. Secondly, this season, like in terms of ranking, it's been awful because they introduced this new system where you can group up with people, which is really nice. But it also makes the games way harder because now everyone is actually grouped up and working together in theory, or they think they're supposed to be or they think that they should, and then they aren't, and then they get mad at you for nothing, as is online gaming. But yeah, so what was this? Lupin. The end, like for something that came out in 1979, that movie looks really good. Like, even on like maybe it's just HD on Netflix or something, but it does not look like, to me, it was that old, and which is cool because you see anime in 2018 that you're like, this doesn't look that cool, and something in 1979 was like, hey man, this is fun to look at. It's entertaining to look at how the character designs are, how the action sequences are. There's parts where like he has to like swim and stuff, as I said, and like there's like really cool water effects and like wind effects when they're in the planes, and like the outfits. They're in this like. Have you guys seen Castle Kageyoshi?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But all I can think of right now is you're talking about 2018 shows that don't look good, and I'm thinking of Persona 5.
They're
so bad. It's so badly animated that I'm calling it Persona 5 the storyboard.
Oh man. I thought you were gonna say you were thinking of Berserk the new Berserk.
Berserk 2016, yeah, there's that too. Handshakers, there's that.
Handshakers. We have a friend in our other Discord named Rob the Jotaku. And I hope he's watching. Because he would be the type of person to watch and not say anything, by the way. Yeah, I know you would, Rob, if you are here. That's gonna be hilarious if you are. He's like, he honestly likes Handshakers, and I want him to see a doctor.
Handshakers is the only anime that made me want to literally gouge my eyes out.
Yes, same here. We could have an eye gouging party. I have given up on seasonal stuff pretty much. And when I was first started doing videos, I used to like. I've never really been into watching seasonal stuff anyway. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick 1 or 2 shows out each season, and I'll talk about those. And one season, it was Vatican Miracle Examiner, and I actually reviewed that, unfortunately, because I watched the whole thing. That's also an awful show. And then one season it was Handshakers, just because I thought the title was weird, and then the animation. I had seen some of K, and I was like, K looked cool at least, so maybe this will look cool. It does not. It does not look cool. Handshakers might be the ugliest. Like Super Kid, it's close to Super Kid level of bad in how it looks, because they tried all this like weird shit that doesn't work.
You see, I'm the lucky one that didn't watch Handshakers.
I saw the last episode too.
I saw a clip.
I saw the first half of the first episode.
I watched the first 5. I was trying to do weekly episode reviews.
Oh, you were in that.
I have like 3. I didn't like doing it, and B, I was doing it about Handshakers. So there's 2 things wrong in my life. And then I gave up on the show.
I honestly, we could leave this for a totally different podcast, but I don't like episode reviews.
Oh, me either. I just did it because I was like, hey, maybe it's an airing show. Maybe people will click on my shit. But I think it's also dumb. It's not how I like to watch stuff.
I did that. I did that with Dragon Ball Super, but like the first 7 episodes are basically Battle of Gods. So I was like, it didn't really matter. And 2, I just lost motivation.
Shaksha, I do say trim, and they still think that I'm shaving my whole beard. Like, I swear to God, it happens every single time I mention it to someone.
Also, Gabriel, yes, I am very much looking forward to Attack on Titan Season 3.
I'm not. Is that going to want to debate it?
So,
Attack on Titan...
So we're having a bunch of negativity here with what we like and what we don't like. So let's get into what we do like.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
So we were going to discuss our top 10 Japanese cartoons. Because I guess we'll omit Avatar. I'll omit Avatar from this. Your top 10 Japanese cartoons. And I'm in no way prepared, so somebody else can. You know what we'll do? We'll go in like
round table.
Yeah, a round table. So like whatever your number 10 is, Justin from the J Chip Show, you can go because I'm gonna look at my completed list.
Okay, so this is in no particular order, but number 10 is Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Bebop is a classic.
Wait a minute. You can't have a top 10 and have it be in no particular order. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
Number 10 is Cowboy Bebop, and I think it does episodic very well, and it has a really good payoff at the end. It doesn't feel like it's boring. I like the episodes with Sin or Wrath. Jupiter Jazz was a good episode. There's a ton of musical references in that show that's just amazing, and the dub is really good too.
Shout out to episode 4, Bow to the Fallen Angels.
That's episode 5.
Sorry. Are you sure? I thought it was 4.
I think it's episode. I'm going to go check this right now.
Okay, well, he's checking, I guess. What, are we going to go one at a time, or?
Yeah, I'll go. So, I'll go number 10. I agree. I would also have Bebop in my top 10. I don't think it'd be that low, though. I mean, but I guess my top 10 would be a range. But I'll say something different. You can confirm. What is it?
I can confirm that it is episode 5.
Fuck. All right. Well, my life is over. I was wrong about an episode of an anime.
It doesn't matter.
All right. So let's see. Number 10. I'll mention this because I don't know where it would be in my top 10, but I think it would crack it. And it's can we specifically do a season and not an entire show? Because this show I think gets a little worse as long as it goes. I would say Durarara would probably be in my top 10, or Durarara, or a lot of explanation points.
Do-la-la-la.
Do-la-la-la. I love season 1. It is from the bottom of my... Season 1 is so... I mean, season 2 is not bad, but season 2 gets weird at times, and they introduce a lot. There's a lot more to it. Like there's just so many people, and there is a lot of people in season 1 as well. But I love Durarara because it's like about a city, or like a section of a city with all this crazy shit happening. Like, and what you on the surface just looks like like citizens of this place in Japan. And it's just supernatural. There's ghost riders. There's swords that possess people and blades that possess people, and there's Russian sushi guys, and there's just all this
sushi.
Russia sushi, and it's just so cool. And Izaya Orihara is one of my favorite antagonists of all time. It just, first of all, character design. That jacket is sexy as fuck. Like, I want that in real life. The fur, with like the black with like the fur on it, and he's always a step ahead of everybody, and it's so cool.
I would disagree with you on that, but I would have to wait until I get into my top 10 for that.
Disagree with Izaya being cool, or
him being on top of everybody, being ahead of everybody?
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, he isn't always. All right, most of the time, he knows what's up, and it's kind of cool. And there isn't really like Mikado is probably my least favorite character, and you had a cool video about him. But even with him and how weird he is in season 2. It's still a really cool show, and like I imported season 1 from Japan. That's how much I love it, and it's just a really entertaining show, and there's not a lot of stuff like it, and that's why Durarara will always be special to me, and that's why I own this thing.
That is a beautiful wall scroll, though.
Thank you. It's from Anime Boston.
So I think going on to my number 10 would have to be Welcome to the NHK.
Ooh, a good one.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's seen that, they already know why it's there. Like, it just hits you so hard. Like, there's something in every, like, I won't say in every episode, but every episode can relate to a certain type of person. So much so that when you get to the end, everybody can relate to something in the show.
Sam Weeks, can you discuss the impact that the anime Super Kid has had on the anime community? Super Kid is, well, it's Korean, so some people might not consider it anime. But it is a classic, and it'll be remembered forever for being so super and totally nothing like Dragon Ball. It totally wasn't trying to rip off anything that was previously laid out before it. But hey, those animators for Super Kid must have worked a total of 20 minutes on that thing. And we can never thank them enough for those valuable 20 minutes that they spent animating the same thing over and over again. And in some cases, drawing things differently than they were before. The spaceship that the girl gets into in that movie, the inside of it changes in between scenes. They couldn't remember how the inside of the ship looked in terms of buttons and like the steering wheel. If you go from one scene to another, it literally changes. Like they didn't bother to look at their old storyboards or anything as to how it looked. They were like, no, fuck that. Fuck consistency. That's for those Japanese animators. We're onto this new shit. We're just going to make something new. So secretly, I kind of think that Super Kid was the greatest anime of all time.
So would that be your next one on your list?
That's number 1. That's number 0.
Okay,
0.00.
Since Justin's AFK, I guess you could do your number 9.
Number 9. Hold on. Let me pull up the Mal. Meanwhile, Gabriel Scott has a top 10 already ready to go. He's far more prepared than I am. I'm looking up something else that I scored like 10 out of 10 or like very close, like 9 out of 10. I'd have Bebop up there, but he already kind of talked about it enough. It's just also, what do I want at 9? Because there are other shows that I think. Oh, okay. I'll say Your Name.
Okay.
Because I think Your Name is really, really, really good, but Shinkai has better films, but I think it's one of the better animated films that I've seen. I think that
Check last episode for more information.
I'll get to a better film that he had later in this list. But Your Name kind of, I think what makes it so good is it's very meta. Like it's very like people, a lot of different types of fans can enjoy it. So like I think some people that may have never seen anime before will like it. The film I'm going to mention later on a little more so, but I think they would like Your Name. People that have been watching anime for a while can like Your Name. It does have problems. I don't think that the male character in Your Name is as fleshed out as he could have been. It's kind of imbalanced. In comparison, if you know anything about Shinkai movies, in terms of conclusions, this one has a lot more positive than
negative.
All right, I'm back.
J-Chip from the J-Chip Show. Gabriel says, I feel like A Silent Voice is better than Your Name.
I think they're both really good.
Yeah.
So my number 9 would actually also be a movie.
Nice.
But it's not a Shinkai movie.
Okay, that's fine.
Perfect Blue. Satoshi Kon.
Ooh, okay.
Perfect Blue is
very good movie.
Perfect Blue is awesome.
I feel like we discussed a lot about Satoshi Kon last time, so I'm not really going to say anything.
I have to read Opus, apparently. I need to read Opus.
Everybody can just watch the last episode for our discussion on Satoshi Kon. Justin, what is your number 9?
My number 9 is going to be Death Parade. I think Death Parade is... it's another episodic show that I felt like it did it right. The ending is open to a second season, but it also ends in a way where if there isn't a second season, I think it would be fine. I also think that the ice skating scene in episode 11 was absolutely amazing, and I think that was the reason why Yuri on Ice was made.
Yeah, that was the whole reason.
Earlier... Everybody put your hands up.
Oh my god, he went there. So earlier in this discussion, I was talking about how happy J-Chip was making me with his watching of Jormungand and his watching of Gungrave, and it was like the pleasing miasma hour. And now he goes ahead and he throws Death Parade onto his top 10 list. Okay, Death Parade is not a bad show. I'll stop with that. It is not. It's not, as the English would say, my cup of tea and crumpets.
Yeah.
So what is your cup of tea then?
Oh, and now it's back to me. Fuck, my number 8. This is the greatness of doing this live.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Code Geass.
Code Geass?
Code Geass. Because I had like started. It's kind of very similar with me watching Avatar, in which I had seen a couple episodes back in the day. Didn't think it was. I thought it was all right, and then had either like fallen behind and didn't really want to catch up, or just found other stuff to watch. And when Code Geass was coming out, there's another kid that I knew in high school that was really, really into it when it was airing on like Toonami. And I was like, well, yeah, that seems kind of cool. And I watched like the first 2 episodes, and I really liked the idea of the oh my god, what's the
Lelouch?
Yeah, his wow, Jesus Christ, it's in the name. Yes, the power of being able to command someone to do one thing and they have to do it. And when you're a teenager, that's like, oh wow, that's really cool. I can say to anyone,
"Be Britannia, command you to die."
That's fucking cool. And then I stopped watching it, and years went by, and everybody said it was really cool. And I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. And
I'm very skeptical about season 3.
Same.
But Code Geass has its ups and downs, like everything. There are times where I feel like it tries to be this like weird, like jokey high school show, because it kind of meanders with like some drama in between the characters and one character's obsession of pizza. But there are some jovial moments, but there are some really serious moments, and I like Lelouch better than Light Yagami. People always have that comparison.
Okay.
And
Okay. Since you went there, I have to ask you: Colin or C2?
Oh. C2. C2. She's more like she's more alluring. Like there's more like mystery to C2. There's more like there's more interest. Like Karin's just kind of like a tsundere bitch for like most of the time. So like I don't need that in my life. Like I don't need somebody that's just gonna look like this all the time. Code gay ass. JK I actually like Code Geass. Yeah, Code Geass, pretty good. Art of Anime, now it's your turn.
Okay, it's funny because me and you were going off like the same wavelength here. You just named like a 50 episode series. I'm about to name a 50 episode series.
Awesome.
Kaiji Ultimate Survivor.
This is the gambling one?
This is the gambling one.
Okay. Not Kakegurui.
No, I touched on Kaiji in my These Anime Changed Me video. I'll put that in the comments below so people can get like a bigger idea why I love Kaiji so much. But I think my biggest reason that I really liked Kaiji was, aside from the personal things, it never feels like that it can end, because Kaiji never gets his foot in the door for a good life. As soon as he gets that foot in the door, the rug gets taken out from under him. And then he's back to square one again.
Damn.
So it's just like
that sucks.
He's like, I'm $1 million in debt. Now I have to gamble for it back. Fuck, I lost. Now I need to get all that money back.
Shit. All right. Kaiji. I have never seen it, but
it's definitely worth the watch.
I haven't seen it either.
J-Chip, what is your 8 or 7, whatever number we're on now?
I believe we're on
7. And we're going to go with another 50 episode series, Soul Eater. Soul Eater was the anime that got me into the anime industry. Yeah, you're wearing it.
He keeps saying shows I'm going to put on my list, by the way.
You've seen Soul Eater, Miasma.
Yes, it was probably would have been my number 7.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best shonen.
It is. And despite the ending, which I don't think it was that bad of an ending.
Shout out to the manga fans.
Exactly. I do think the manga Soul Eater is good, but the anime is also really good too.
If you're a fan of the manga, just be happy with that, and then let us be happy with the anime.
Yeah, there's also a character named Justin Law who listens to music constantly and is a priest.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
He is really cool.
The only character that really got on my nerves in that show was, I guess, Black Star at first. But when I got to my second time,
got on me too. But I grew to appreciate him.
Yeah. Also, Excalibur is one of the best anime characters ever. And his theme song is just incredible.
Ooh. I told you. I start every day with a cup of tea. I thought you said that you drink coffee. Boo! All right. So next up, I'll say... by the way, I am going to do a top 20 list at some point, which might actually be completely different than this. So this whole list might be a lie. For right now, I'm going to say... Watashi ga motenai no wa de kangetemo o maru ga warui. Or
wow, you actually said the whole thing.
Yes. Or Watamode is a awesome show. But it's also a terrible show. Because it's as good as it is, it can be real boring. And the manga is far better. It's this cool black comedy-esque thing about this girl who wants to be popular and wants boys to like her, but doesn't really want to deal with the things that you would need to do to be so popular.
Basically, if you like Welcome to the NHK, you will like Watamote, and if you like Watamote, you will like Welcome to the NHK.
Yeah.
Yeah, good way to put it. All right, Art, your turn.
Okay. This one's actually a movie coming up, but I like the whole series that it's based on. I think the movie itself is like one of the best anime movies ever made, though. And that would be The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Ah.
I love the TV show. I want to get into the light novels. But I think the movie, just for what it is, I haven't seen a 3-hour anime movie that never once felt boring. Shoutouts to falling asleep during Princess Mononoke.
Okay. Well.
That wasn't 3 hours. That was more like 2 hours and a little more. But Disappearance of Haruhi, basically, it takes the whole plot of Haruhi that you knew, and it's like, okay, what if Haruhi wasn't there? Then what?
Then it would just be the melancholy.
It becomes the melancholy John Smith, basically.
Soul Eater is one of the best shonen, Sam, because it actually ends. It doesn't drag on forever. And yes, shots fired at many other shonen.
Gabriel asks, "Hey Art, what happened to your headphones?"
I already replied to that in chat.
Oh,
He's sat on them.
All right, Justin, you're up.
You tell I have duct tape on them.
Yeah. No, he just has custom ones that he had. He just puts duct tape on them.
No, duct tape fixes everything.
It does.
Yeah, exactly. So we're on. So we're on number 6.
Yep.
Yeah, you're on 6, I think, or whatever. At this point.
Okay.
At this point, we're just naming anime that you like.
All right, number 6 is going to be the original Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball GT, just Dragon Ball.
Sam in the chat is going to go nuts if he's still here.
Okay.
I think the original Dragon Ball is a lot better than Dragon Ball Z.
Find them Dragon Balls. Look out for them all.
Basically, the first 2 episodes are all you need in Dragon Ball, especially that second episode where Goku discovers that women don't have balls.
Okay, look, that is the best scenes in anime.
Why would I want to look at your panties or like whatever the fuck it is?
When he's like, Bulma, your balls are cool. And she goes to look for the Dragon Balls and she's like, Goku, what are you talking about? You don't have any balls down there.
I do like when he fights Tien in the tournament.
Yeah, Tien's awesome in that show.
And then he becomes nothing.
I think Tien needs more screen time because he's a really cool character.
Too bad Z happened, and then none of those characters will ever get screen time now.
Him and Chaozu are forever training under like waterfalls and shit to do
anybody that's a human in Dragon Ball Z is basically useless. Even Krillin.
Pretty much, especially now with Super.
Yeah. It's
basically just the Saiyans now.
Yeah.
But you can just go play the DBZ Online game and make your own human character.
Fuck DBZ Online.
No. There we go. Fuck DBZ Online. For my number 6, I'm going to say Now and Then, Here and There.
Still yet to watch that one.
No one watches. So it's really cool. It is... You can just watch my review of it, by the way. But it's basically isekai up to the point where just a guy that's a little kid and he practices kendo and he's not really good at it. He's clumsy, but he's a really nice guy. He sticks up against bullies and stuff like that. And then one day he meets this strange girl that seems like she's from some other another world essentially, and she gets dragged into like a different dimension. He goes along with her trying to help her, and ends up getting stuck in this world where there's a war going on and children are being used as soldiers. And the girl that he met has this mysterious ability that nobody else in that world has that makes her a big target for the major antagonist, who is one of the darkest antagonists I've ever seen in anime. and he's really cruel and really fucked up. And it's a dark show. It is not, it does not sugarcoat stuff. It basically tells you straight up what happens to kids in war, what happens when you are the victor versus the loser, what happens when you have nobody to protect you and people can do with you what they want. I don't think it might not be for everybody because it has a lot of violence and it does have rape and it does have a lot of dark things in it. But it is a very, very cool show. It's very short. It's only like 12 or 13 episodes. But it's really, really cool and not enough people talk about it. But now and then here and there, go watch that.
You want to talk about the evils of society?
Yes.
My next one's Psychopaths.
Psychopaths. Is it specifically season 1?
It is specifically season 1 because season 2 is garbage.
What about the movie?
The movie was better than season 2, but not as good as season 1.
Yeah.
Literally, the worst case that society can turn into is Psychopaths. Watch it, understand it, make sure society doesn't become it. Because China actually has something going on right now where they're implementing citizen scores.
Oh, good.
Which are
That's how they won't mess up.
Similar to crime coefficients.
In the Sybil system.
It's no... Okay, comparing it so much to Sybil, like, way out there.
Yeah.
But it's eerily, like, at the baseline level, eerily similar. Like, there have been people complaining that they can't buy property because of it. They can't go on airplanes because of it. They can't, like, get their kids in schools because of it. And because it reflects off of how they are as a citizen, if they jaywalk, if they do community service, all this and that. It's been going on for a few years over there. It just hasn't been completely implemented yet. And I think the projected implementation is like 2020. So when it actually gets fully put in, I want to see how it plans out just because of the eerie similarities to Psychopaths. It's like nobody watched Psychopaths over there.
Justin.
Yeah, Psychopaths is good. But I guess we're going to number 5. My number 5 is going to be a movie. And I already talked about it, but it's Perfect Blue. I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said about Perfect Blue? It's one of the best anime movies ever. And Satoshi Kon is just a genius. And, you know, some days I just wish that, like, what would anime be like if he was still around?
We would have Dreaming Machine.
Yeah. we would have really good movies beyond that.
He would be... I don't know if Your Name would have got as popular as it did. Honestly.
Yeah. I don't think Wolf Children would have gotten as popular.
When did Wolf Children come out?
I think that came out in 2012.
Yeah, you're right.
But Perfect Blue is my number 5. Everyone's talked about it. But the one thing I'll do say is that I think the movie is good in both English and in Japanese.
I haven't seen it in Japanese, but the one thing I will say about Wolf Children is I think it's the one piece of art where I can't fully judge it because there's a character in it that I hate so much, but at the same time, he's so well written, which is why I hate him so much.
We'll make a podcast like dedicated to that character.
So what am I on 5? Whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Serial Experiments Lane.
We all love Lane.
In present day, present time. Serial Experiments Lane. I'm sure people have heard other people talk about it. It's really, really cool. There's kind of like I like stuff where there really isn't other stuff like it. and Lane kind of stands out because it's people think it's like so freaking deep and too hard to understand,
But
which
it
you
basically
might not get
predicted
it.
internet addiction.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That's basically
Before
what it
Japan
is.
even had it, really, and so like, and it's so accurate and so good at what it does, and it's the character designs, the art of it, the background, everything is really cool. The intro, the OP is really really nice, and just the story itself. You might not get everything, but I highly doubt anybody would watch it and like sit through the whole thing and not get something out of it that they enjoy, because unless you are going into it with a very negative outlook.
I mean, why do you think
Lane
the
is-
opening starts out with the line "and you don't seem to understand"?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good show. Art of Anime.
My next one is a long series.
One Piece.
So, not One Piece, no. I've actually only read like 3 or 4 chapters of One Piece. I haven't watched any of the anime.
You can't make YouTube videos about anime if you don't read One Piece.
Okay, it's not that long, not as long as Dragon Ball, but the Monogatari series.
Okay.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Shout out to Akiyuki Shimbo.
One of the best directors
I'll
in
agree.
the game.
He's really cool. I'll agree.
What he could do, like, in any of the shows he's worked on, where this guy comes up with some of these, like, just ideas is beyond me. But I think from beginning to end, well, what is the end now? The Monogatari series stands out to me because of just basically it's a really simple idea drawn way out of proportion. Is a fake more real than the real thing? And that's basically what it's about.
Okay. Shout out to brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't talk about Nisei Monogatari. That was like the weirdest part of the show, but it was kind of like a one-off.
Okay.
Shout out to a really cool opening in Bakemonogatari.
You mean like every opening?
I haven't seen every opening, but I'll give a shout out to that one.
The fact that it changes its opening every like 4 episodes too is amazing.
Yeah.
This will be a discussion for future cast, but if I were to make an anime, Akiyuki Shinbo would be one of the people working on it. There's 2 other individuals that I would want working on it, and we'll get into that specifically.
There's definitely one individual I would not want working on my anime.
Okay, we'll talk about that someday. But for right now, we need to know what J Chip Show's number 4 anime in the history of time is. Come
Number
on down.
4 is the 1997 Berserk. It's a classic. The ending is really good. I think the ending took me by surprise when I saw it. Not because of what actually happened, like at the very, very end, but the fact that it was so gory and bloody that like it was just fantastic. But besides that, everything else was really good. The music is probably my favorite anime soundtrack of all time. And Guts and Griffith still are my favorite characters. Casca is really good. I think the dub of Berserk is also really good too.
So how do you feel about 2016, 2017?
They're kind of shit, but just read the manga. And also, I will say Berserk Golden Age movie 3 is also really, really good.
All right.
So if I can add an extension to it would be Berserk movie 3.
Yes, there's no rules. So for number 4, this is tough because now you get into the range of where I'm gonna have to cut some stuff out that I will kind of want there. Number 4, I'll say Gungrave for now. Just because, yeah, I have nostalgia glasses on a lot of stuff, but when we get to my number one, that's going to be huge nostalgia glasses. But Gungrave was one of the first shows that I had watched, and it was the first time that I really, really, really related to a main character. And as like quiet and stuff as Brandon is, that's kind of how I am when I'm not on a camera. So, it's basically this guy gets dragged into like a life in the mafia by his best friend because they kind of have nothing else, and his friend wants to climb the ladder, and he kind of goes along with him, and he kind of goes along with whatever his friend kind of wants him to do just to make everybody else around him happy. And there's also a girl that he likes that's also involved. And when I was young, I really liked Brandon, and he was strong and did stuff for his friends, even though he probably shouldn't have, and I did the same thing. Yeah, so I really related to the main character, and Gungrave is really cool, and it's from the same character designer as Trigun, and in my opinion, it's a better show. So yeah, everybody can get pissed at me now.
But they both have gun in the title.
They both do.
Yeah.
One of them's overrated, though. Yeah, he's beyond the grave. He's really cool. All right, now we're down to the top three, I think.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, never mind. He's on 4. I'm done.
Unfortunately, my fourth one has already been talked about, and it's Do-Da-Da-Da.
Ooh, nice.
But this is where my counterpoints to you come in.
Okay.
As much as I liked Izaya Orihara, as much as I liked him and how interesting of a character he was, you very much undermine how important and unique Mikado Ryugamine is.
He's important. I don't have to like somebody because they're important, though.
Okay.
I don't like him.
The lesson we learn from Izaya is that he's crazy. In a sense. Yeah. A lot of people write him off as crazy, but no, I believe he's completely sane and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I've seen videos calling him a sociopath or a psychopath. I don't agree with any of that. I don't think he's either one. I think he's extremely knowledgeable and knows how to psychoanalyze people and get what he wants. I think he's very much knowledgeable of how people are. Mikado, as an extension off of that, I think Mikado used what he saw and learned from Izaya, as well as what he learned and saw from Aoba Kuronuma, and became kind of like this mixture of both of them.
Okay.
So
I can see that.
Where you see like Mikado start from in the beginning is ironically kind of the same point he ends up as, but it's kind of like a pseudo character development arc where he doesn't really develop much as a person. More so he learns that something that he thought in the beginning isn't true.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of cool about Mikado. And why Mikado would become my favorite character over Izaya. And also, I also have to say Shizuo Heiwa-jima.
I knew he was I have a t-shirt that is literally Izaya versus Shizuo. So if anybody says it like Izaya, I know somebody's going to be like, wow, it's all about Shizuo. My dad really likes Shizuo, and then I really like Izaya. So like whenever they fight in the series, it's like us back and forth.
Okay, and for one more thing above Izaya, Shinra.
Okay.
I'll let you have your Durarara grave now. On to Justin.
And I am on the opposite of this coin because I have not seen Durarara yet.
We should do this on Netflix.
I should.
It's only like 60-something episodes.
Worth it.
Well, you see, I'm watching Natsumi, and if I watch another show that's really long,
you'll become me, where you start to watch everything and then slowly stop.
So we're on number 3.
Number 3, your top 3. You're on an island for the rest of your life. You got 3 anime to watch. What are they?
We already said this. I already said this like last week, but the flower we saw that day is really good. If you can relate to to someone dying You'll easily relate to the show in every way. I understand where every single character is coming from, even if they might do stuff that's a bit weird. I still understand where they're coming from. And the ending, I feel like, is one of the saddest endings ever. And this may be a bit shots fired here, but I think it's sadder than Clannad. But
I want to say, based on what you're saying, especially since you bring up Clannad and Anohana, that a lot of people dismiss melodrama as just bad writing, when basically the appeal of melodrama is the emotions. So therefore, if the melodrama gets you emotional, it's doing it right.
Yeah. And Clannad is by no means a bad show. I think it's a really, really good show. I just kind of relate more to Anohana.
Okay.
But number 3 is Anohana.
I can see that. I didn't dislike Anohana.
I'm going to watch Anohana first because it's shorter.
Yeah, it's 11 episodes. I like Clannad more, but I like Anohana too.
Shout out to Your Lie in April while we're talking about shows that can get sad. But that's not my number 3.
I didn't find Your Lie in April as sad as either one of those, though. It's a very good show, but I didn't find it as sad.
Right.
I say this about Your Lie in April. I think it has better music than both shows.
Yes, I would hope so. That's like saying I hope Tiger Mask has better wrestling than Clannad.
Well, there's a scene in Tiger Mask that's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure it has better wrestling than Clannad.
Japanese wrestling takes everything too seriously.
So what's that number 3, my asthma?
Number 3. Hold on, I gotta remember how I want to rearrange this trinity in my head. I mean, Bebop would be near there, but it's already. I'm trying not to repeat too much stuff. Number 3, I'm gonna say The Garden of Words.
Okay, movie.
I would put that probably as my. I really like Perfect Blue, and I think Perfect Blue is a great film. But personally, I think Garden of Words is my favorite anime film. I'm a huge Shinkai fanboy, and it is like the prettiest fucking thing I've ever seen.
That just literally speaks art.
Yeah, it is such. If you guys haven't seen it, please watch. If you only see one Shinkai film, watch The Garden of Words.
Even if you watch it muted, you can enjoy it.
Fuck the story. No, but the story's great. This about this high school kid who wants to make shoes. And more importantly,
it sounds really dumb.
Yes,
really
that's why I kind of didn't want to say that part. But so a high school kid that does not feel comfortable where he is. He feels a lot different than everybody, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. And I think 30-ish, maybe late 20s, early 30s-year-old woman who is also at a pretty depressing stage of her life. She does not feel comfortable where she is, and they meet in the park. This cool-looking, beautiful park in Japan when it rains, because when it rains, they both go to hang out there. And they slowly bond and discuss a lot of what's going on with them with each other. Some stuff gets revealed, some feelings get made, and it's just really beautiful, and the characters are really, really cool, and it's an emotional ride. And right up until it's like has this really cool climax scene, and if you're a fan of water, there's really cool looking rain. But Garden of Words is just really, really cool, and it has a really solid ending as well. A realistic ending, as I like to describe Shinkai endings typically.
You're aware that teacher in Garden of Words is the teacher from Your Name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say the teacher word because that sort of gets revealed in the film in its latter parts.
You know, from what you say about Garden of Words, it kind of reminds me of the movie Coco.
With the dog that goes to like hell?
No, the Disney Pixar movie Coco.
Yes, isn't that with the dog?
No, there's a dog in it, but it's about a little boy that.
No, not the dog movie. There's dog in it. I'm just kidding.
Coco's on Netflix, and yeah, it's good.
It's interesting. I've never heard someone compare Garden of Words to Coco. Now I have to watch
It's from what you're saying, it's very similar.
Okay.
I mean, it's only a 40-minute movie. There's no reason not to watch it.
Yeah, you should watch Garden of Words. It's pretty fucking good. It's
Is it
really good.
Is it real?
No, I don't think
Probably not.
Okay.
Well, whenever you watch it, make sure it's not shitty quality.
Make sure you're not paying for Kiss Anime Premium. On to, I guess, my third would be Made in Abyss.
Ooh, I was almost going to put this in my top 10 because I think it's very, very good.
I think it's got a strong sense of like its world, its characters. And I think the first season leaves itself off at a point where you get just enough like out of it.
Hey, Rob.
You still have questions. Like, we still don't know exactly who that Bondrewd guy is, but we got kind of an idea of who he's associated with. And we understand at least some of the world of the Abyss. We haven't seen all of it, but we've seen that the further they go down, the worse it gets.
Meaty, or whatever her name is.
Mitty, yeah. Mitty. Poor Mitty. I don't know about you, but I got heavy Dante's Inferno vibes from it.
Yeah, I can see that. I thought you were going to say heavy feels for a specific scene.
Oh no, we don't talk about that scene.
That's all I'm going to say, but it fucking hurts my soul. And if an anime can do that, that's a pretty good thing. But yeah, Made in Abyss is really cool. J-Chip from the J-Chip Show.
Number 2. It's going to be Fruits Basket again. Just like I said with Anohana.
Shoujo trash.
And
it's the Poupon Fruits Basket show. But basically, it's the same reason why I like Anohana. I relate to the main character, Toru Honda. And if I had to pick a waifu, there she is. I mean, just look at her face.
Oh,
just look at
the waifu stream?
Yeah, it's Abenito is here, so it's waifu Sunday now. There's another good picture of her. I swear I'm going to get these.
Is this show about a basket of fruit?
No.
Okay.
It is about the Chinese zodiac.
Okay.
Well, that's like false marketing.
Yeah, no, I wanted it to be about bananas. Spice and Wolf is about a guy that trades spices and he hangs out with a wolf. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, they do reference this basket, but it's not the main like show. I guess like why it's called Fruits Basket because there are so many different characters. They like get jumbled up into a basket, and Toru is the rice ball, and apparently rice balls just don't go into. Oh wait, I'm sorry, jelly donut. Jelly donuts just don't go into a basket.
Okay. Right.
It's a good show. It's 26 episodes. The manga is better, but the anime is really good too.
Does the anime they tell a complete story, or
kinda? Kinda. Honestly, the ending is kind of lacking, but it's still a really good journey.
Okay.
And if you can't handle the shoujo art style, I understand, but try to get through it because it's really good, and it's funny.
Speaking of really good journeys, my number 2
Kino's
is journey. No, not Kino's Journey. Sadly, that's 2.5. The greatest coming of age story in all of anime, Eureka 7 or Eureka 7 if you've never seen the show. And I hate when you say that. People are like, oh, don't you mean Eureka 7? I'm like, you obviously haven't fucking watched it because even in the dub they say it.
Every time I talk to somebody and I pronounce it Eureka 7,
they correct you.
They're like, isn't it Eureka 7? I'm like,
no, even in the dub they say Eureka because it's her name.
No.
It's Eureka 7.
I haven't even seen the show.
Well, you should because it's great. It's about this kid who fucking starts out with basically nothing, and he lives in like Shitsville, and it's in this futuristic world where people surf on the sky, on like the air, by the way, they surf on air, and it's got this really cool like hippie vibe to it with like a bunch of like techno-y kind of music. It's this really weird like blend. Like a lot of the robots are named after like old school synthesizers that like bands used. I didn't find that out till much later. But like a lot of the mechs, and there's people have mechs that also surf on the sky, and which is just so cool. And then he basically joins this like anti-government establishment group called the Gecko State, and he joins in this like this huge ass like sort of battle for the sake of the world that's going on. And there's aliens, and there's fucking humans, and there's humans in love with the aliens. I guess so. That's why Darling of the Franks interests me slightly, because it gives me kind of similar vibes, and it has a very, very, very cool romance between Renton, who's the guy, and Ereka, who is this alien girl, who sort of has to try and understand like what it is to be a person and have like emotions and deal with all of the shit that we have to deal with, realizing that she's different and growing up being different, and him trying to, he's just a teenage kid trying to get with a girl that he loves. Meanwhile, all this crazy shit's happening around him that he can't really control, and it's fucking awesome. And there's whole like sections of episodes where they're apart, and you like when they're apart, like it hurts because like they're apart. Like you're like, man, I wish that they were together, and I wish that this was resolved faster and stuff. And it's just, if a show can do that, I think it's like really cool in the romance section. But so I like it a lot. Watch that Ega 7. It's pretty good. And they're doing these like rebuild movies, which I don't know if those are going to be good. I'm worried about that.
Wait, are they literally calling them rebuild movies?
They're called High Evolution.
Okay, so
it tells like a prequel. There's events that happened right before the series that aren't like in the show that I guess they're going to show in the movie. And then the movies, there's going to be like 3 movies. And I think like the first and second one, kind of like the rebuilds, have like some of the same stuff. And then I think they're going to change. But I don't know. Don't watch anything that's on Eka 7 besides just the original show. AO is apparently horse shit, and it sounds like horse shit from everything I've ever heard. And the OVA isn't good either. So just watch the 50-episode show, and then maybe these new movies, if they're any good. Maybe. Rob Haku says 69. I like it.
So we're getting into the big guns, huh?
Yeah.
My number 2 would be Sangatsu no Lion.
Ooh.
Which I still haven't seen season 2 to.
I haven't finished season 2.
I still have to watch season 2, but season 1 blew me away.
Awesome.
Again, shout out to Akiyuki Shinbo.
I still need to watch it.
The man knows his cinematography, that's for sure. The man knows cool angles.
The amount that he portrayed in the first scene of the first episode where Ray was just laying there in his room, and you just saw this empty room. Ray was in a white shirt, boxes everywhere. He had a shogi board next to him, and the room was just empty. It just made it feel so depressing. And then you have the whole first half of that episode is just completely without dialogue. And just the amount of world building that he's able to do through just showing is amazing. And then the episode continues, and every episode from that point on has that same kind of vibe to it. I've been kind of avoiding season 2 because I love season 1 so much, and I'm afraid season 2 won't be as good, but I've heard so many good things about season 2 that there's no reason for me not to. I just don't want to tarnish that image in my head just in case.
I'll tell you, because I have 5 episodes or so remaining of season 2. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it is a good ride. It continues to be a good ride. And there's a reason why I March Comes to the Lion is amazing. It's so good that I bought it, and it costs a lot of money because it's a fucking Aniplex, and fuck them. I give them money.
Just talk about Sentai Filmworks too.
Hey,
they're just as bad.
Justin,
Yo,
what's your number one?
kind of this small show called Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ooh, I haven't finished it.
Show?
Yu Yu Hockey Show.
It's a hockey anime, dude. My top 5 anime. I want to see it. You just should have mentioned that existed.
No, sadly there is no hockey.
I wish there was.
But Yu Yu Hakusho is the prime definition of how you make a shonen anime in every sense of the word. I think it's better than Dragon Ball Z, mainly because Yu Yu Hakusho doesn't rely on filler. It's only 112 episodes, so it's not really that long compared to most shonen anime. And every episode feels like it matters. The entire cast of Yu Yu Hakusho is really good. The Dark Tournament arc is absolutely fantastic with a bunch of really cool fights. And every arc kind of changes its mood. Like the first arc is a bit episodic, where Yusuke is solving a different case. The second one is obviously the tournament, and then the third season is kind of like a crime drama, but it's really, really good. If you're into Hunter x Hunter, I highly recommend that you go check out Yu Yu Hakusho. It's one of Togashi's best works, and it's one of the reasons why I'm a fan of Togashi, and it's one of the reasons why I'm a fan of anime, really.
At least you don't have to worry about him finishing Yu Yu Hakusho.
Exactly.
You know, I watched all of Hunter x Hunter, and I've only seen 46 something episodes of Hakusho, and I like Hakusho way better, but I just haven't finished that one. I finished Hunter x Hunter, and I think it's kind of meh, but that's gonna make people mad too. The Chimera Ant arc isn't that great.
I have a friend that would disagree with you and wrote 5,000 words on that.
Yeah, a lot of people would disagree with me. It's cool, but I don't know.
The Hunter exam art is not as good until it gets to the actual tournament.
Yeah, that's true. So for number one, this is I'm going to cheat a little bit with this. I'm going to have my nostalgia answer and then my quality answer. If people ask me what's my number one favorite anime, it's because I have this shirt. It's why I'm called Miasma. Inuyasha was the very first anime I ever saw in my life. Not counting maybe Pokemon or early episodes of DBZ or something. But an anime where I actually paid attention to the fucking plot line or something. And I was 12, 13, something when it came out. Or when it was airing on Toonami. And I used to stay up. I had a TV in my bedroom and would turn the volume way fucking down. I'm surprised I heard what was going on, but not a lot goes on in Inuyasha anyway. So it's all right. So I would turn it that way it wouldn't wake them up. And I would stay up really late, way later than a 12-year-old should be staying up, because that's when Toonami used to air these episodes back then. And it'd air 1 or 2 every night of the week. And so my first watch through of Inuyasha was like that. And when I discovered what anime actually was, and then I watched it all again. And ever since then I think I've watched the whole thing 3 times, but there's individual episodes I've seen many, many times. And a lot of it's nostalgia. It's the first one I saw, and it's just I can't watch an old episode unless it's a really bad episode without just feeling excited, just seeing fucking Inuyasha run the little and him jump on trees and shit, and Moroku suck things into the wind tunnel, and Kagome shoot arrows at shit. And it's just really cool. And my waifu is in it, and I'll leave it at that, because there's a lot of women in that show. So, but it's really cool. It does not have a proper ending until you get to the final act, which didn't come out for years. And I didn't even know that existed. I had fallen out of anime for a while. And then the ending of the original Inuyasha is really shitty. And I thought that was just how it ended. That's it. And then they did a final season called The Final Act years later. And then I watched that, and that was also really, really cool, but really sad because that's the end. But in terms of quality, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Another show that I've seen multiple times. The original FMA was probably the second show I had seen that I knew what anime was and cared about it. And while that show is really good, I also think like Inuyasha, it has a really shitty ending, and like it's because it's like a made up, it's like a fillery ending or non-canon ending, and I didn't even know that Brotherhood had come out. Again, I had fallen out of anime for a while. Years later, I finally watched Brotherhood, and it's amazeballs. And Brotherhood is really good. There is the whole Maze Hughes situation is not handled as well in Brotherhood as it is in the first one, but everything else, it is so awesome. It's such a great journey, and I love the characters. So many characters and all the powers and stuff, and everybody's talked about FMA, so I'll stop. But it's really fucking good. It's awesome.
So before I get into my number one, I would also like to add on to Brotherhood that on top of Maze Hughes, I would also say that Sho Tucker wasn't handled as well.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. With how? Okay.
But other than those two exceptions, I do like Brotherhood more than the original. For my number one, no big surprise. This has been here for like 3 years, 4 years now. I'm sure both of you already know I'm going to say Evangelion.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to put that in my top 10. It would be there. This is the problem with on the spot top 10s, by the way.
This is why you should prepare this beforehand, like me and Justin.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
If you want to know my top 10, just go on my mouth. And it'll be there.
Yeah, well, I talked about why Ava's so special in that same video. I talked about Kaiju's so special. So, again, I'll link that down in the description.
Yeah.
Or in the comments. Whichever works. Long story short, I thought it was about an organization named Holy and a big giant purple robot. But if you know Ava, you know Holy's not in it. And if you know who the show Holy is from,
then you get bonus points because that show's sick too.
I disagree with that, but that's for another time. But Ava's so popular, I don't even think I really need to talk about it.
All this new information just comes out like right tomorrow. Like, yeah, Evangelion's getting a remake, and there are some new like things that are happening.
Yeah, dude, it's called 3.33.
Yeah, this is
eventually 4.44, maybe? Question mark.
Yeah, but this is the
or is it 3.0 plus 1.0? We don't even know the name of it.
Evangelion 5. They're just going to skip and say 5.55.
Yeah, 4.44 just doesn't matter.
Evangelion Pi 3.14.
Look, if it's not called Evangelion, whatever the number, you cannot end. Then we have a problem.
That'd be great. You will not be satisfied. Oh, alrighty. That was great. Wow. We talked for a while, but it was very fun.
We did. It was awesome.
Yeah, this was much longer than last week.
Yeah. And I might totally override my list when I do my top 20 video, which is still in the works, which might not happen, so don't trust the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'll try. But those shows, you have a sneak peek at mine. Theirs is more honest. I'm a liar.
Yeah.
If you learn anything from checking out this channel, learn that I'm a liar.
Never trust a man with a beard.
Never. Don't ever
so
trust
that means don't trust Digibro.
Oh, all right. Great. Now he's maybe out of the 5 people that are watching, maybe one of them is a huge Digibro fan, and he'll leave a hate comment. As always, please check out these guys' channels here.
You actually have to put us in the description this time?
Yes, this time I have to do that. And Art of Anime. Both have really, really awesome content. And you could see us talk about this kind of stuff every Sunday.
Yep.
At 9 p.m., unless otherwise noted. Follow me on Twitter for updates. You can follow these guys on Twitter as well. And any parting thoughts for you guys besides watch the shows that you said to watch?
Sugoi Boyz.
Sugoi Boyz forever. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah.